It has been quite a while, or at least it feels like a while to me, since we've been on track with our Preview Friday, going over our ACT questions from the week. But we are going to get caught up and back on our schedule, being more consistent. But these four science questions, official ACT science questions, these are from May 9th through May 12th. And we're going to go over those, make sure you understand how to get the correct answer, why the correct answer is right, and just wanted to catch back up, and then we will be on track going forward. So this Friday, make sure you are back here for the Freeview Friday of this week's questions, which are going to be all ACT math questions. So let's jump right in. Scroll up a bit here so you can see the question, because remember, we're going to start with the questions when we are going over these science problems. A lot of the time, the science problems direct you to exactly where you need to go in either the table, chart, the figure, the paragraph. Like, it usually, for most questions, gives you clear-cut directions as to where the answer is located, and you can physically put your finger on the answer in most cases. So let's look at question 7. Based on student 1's explanation, the same substance composes both of the samples in which of the following pairs? So when I read that question, I know I have a signal to go to student 1, that's for sure, so mark that. So student 1, we want to make sure we come over here and see what that student is talking about, their explanation. And then it says the same substance, same, so that's important, substance composes both of the samples. So then we're talking about samples, and we know that information is going to come from the charts. Okay, now that's me looking at the question and not reading the passage or the student's responses or anything. That's just from the question saying, okay, this is where I need to go. So I'm going to read student 1's response, and then I'm going to go back to the answer choices and see which one matches what student 1 said. So student 1 says, if two samples have the same, there's that word again, same values for all 5 properties, they are composed of the same substance. Okay, so that's like exactly what the question was saying. Same substance, I see same substance composes. Okay, so we're on the right track, but this student said all 5 properties have the same values. Okay, so that's probably going to mean something in a second when I get to the chart. Student 1 continues, if 2 samples have different values for any of the 5 properties, they are composed of different substances. Okay, well, that's not what the question asked me about. The question is only asking for same substance in the samples. Okay, so I know student 1 believes or hypothesizes that all 5 properties have to have the same value in order for the substances to be the same. That means when I check these answer choices, I'm looking for all 5 properties, mass, volume, density, melting point, boiling point, to have the same values for both samples. So now I can just go through the answer choices and see which one fits that circumstance. So let's start with A. Samples A and B. I'm comparing A and B, and I can highlight those and we can see if they have everything the same across. Same mass, good. Same volume, good. Same density, good. Melting point, no, different. Boiling point is different. So that's not our answer. Not our answer. Okay, so we're going to get rid of A. Okay, and good. All right, now let's do answer choice B and see if it works. Answer choice B is comparing samples B and C. Right. And as I'm getting ready to do C, I can see there's already it already doesn't match. Look, mass is 8 grams, then sample C has mass of 6 grams. It's already wrong. I'm not going to waste time because this is a quick timed test. I'm not going to waste time checking the other 5. Student 1 said all 5 values need to be the same. So it's not B. Let's continue. It's got to be C or D now. All right, but remember, when you have a multiple choice test, all you have to do is either select the correct answer or eliminate all the incorrect answers. Okay, so answer choice C, we're looking at sample C and sample D. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so yep, that's it. Look, everything matches, all 5. Mass, volume, density, melting point, boiling point, all have the same values. And according to student 1, that means they are composed of the same substance. And therefore, C is the correct answer to this question. Okay, hope that is good for you, that explanation of how to answer question 7 here. Excuse me. And we're going to continue on to our next one. All right, for this next question and the next few problems that we have left, it is all based on the same set of information, the same chart, the same passages. So let's continue. It says based on student 3, this time, highlight this one. Based on student 3's explanation, the same substance, again, we're looking for same substance, composes both of the samples and which of the following pairs? So guys, this is the same question you just answered. We're gonna attack it the same way. The only difference is it's based on student 3's explanation this time instead of student 1's. But we're gonna do the same process. So we need to move back over to student 3's information. You should be able to see it on the screen. It says if, right here, student 3, if 2 samples have the same mass, volume, and density, they are composed of the same substance. Okay, and that's all we care about because the question is about same substances, so we don't have to waste time reading about different substances and whatever else that he said, right? In order for the 2 samples to be the same substance, according to him or her, it is same mass, same volume, same density, okay? We don't care about the rest of the paragraph. Don't waste your time reading it. We got what we need. So now we can look over here and at the answer choices. Let's flip. Why do I do that every time? Let's flip back and see the answer choices and then check them against the chart. Remember, this time we're looking for mass, volume, density needs to be the same, okay? All right, so sample A and C first. Samples A and C. Highlight those. Mass, volume, density, but mass, volume, density, no. The mass is wrong, the volume is wrong, so it's not going to be that first answer choice of F. That's incorrect. All right, let's try G. G has samples B and E. B and E. Let's check those. Erase these. Okay, B, E. Oh no, it was close. The mass is the same. The volume and the density are switched. That's not the correct answer. We will move on. Not going to be G either. Let's try H. H is F and G. Samples F and G. Did you notice there are a lot of letters to keep straight in here? There might be intentional confusion they're trying to cause. Right, so F and G do not match. That's not it. So I've eliminated all of the incorrect answers, and therefore the answer is the last one, which is J. Okay, and if you need proof, we can go back and look, samples G and H, we can prove to ourselves that that is the correct answer. GH, same mass, volume, density, okay? So that is going to be the correct answer for that problem when they are referring to student 3, okay? Now you will see I had to do some back and forth flipping when you are taking the actual test in a paper booklet. It should be like a left and right page, so you won't have to do that kind of back and forth, just gonna look left and right. And you probably would have noticed right off the bat, oh, well, I see mass, volume, and density kind of right here. As soon as you notice the correct answer, just go ahead and mark it and move on. You know, or if you've eliminated the incorrect answers, mark it, move on. You don't have to prove to yourself. You don't really have time to prove to yourself that it's right. Like, you've gone through the process, you've eliminated, mark it, move on, okay? Let's go to the next problem. Clear everything out. All right, so for this one, we have classic ACT science question, right? Where we have, it's a this or that, right? You're picking between two things, this or that. And then you have to have the explanation as to why it's either this or why it's that. And your answer choices are going to be this with the correct reasoning, this with the incorrect reasoning, or that with the correct reasoning, or that with the incorrect reasoning. Okay, this question is, you're going to see it. It is definitely going to be on your ACT science test. So let's look at this one. It says, suppose that the temperature of sample A is increased to 250 degrees Celsius at 1 atm of pressure. At 250 degrees Celsius, would sample A be a liquid or a solid? Okay, so remember, ACT science questions most of the time are going to direct you where to go. So it's directing us to sample A for sure, and we know it's talking about temperature, okay? Now, if I don't know anything else right now, I know it has something to do with Celsius, degrees Celsius, temperature, and I'm only looking at sample A. So let's go look at the chart and see what kind of sticks out at us about that. All right, so we're back here on the chart. Sample A, that doesn't have anything to do with mass. The temperature doesn't have anything to do with volume or density. Temperature, degrees Celsius, only refers to melting and boiling point. Okay? So I know what they're asking me has something to do with these two columns on the chart, but only for sample A. Okay, melting point, boiling point. And then it says, assume that mass, volume, and density were determined at 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that means it was way lower than the 250 that it's even talking about. But so what, right? What are we trying to figure out here? It said at 250 degrees, would that particular substance, sample A, be a solid or a liquid? So here's where just a little bit of science comes into place. A lot of the science test is not even about science that you learned, okay? Very little scientific facts are assessed on there. But this particular question, there's kind of a little science fact or maybe common sense kind of thing here. We have the melting and the boiling point, and then we're talking about a solid and a liquid, okay? So what does it mean to melt? if something melts, right, that means it's going from its solid state and melting into a liquid, right? Now, I am not a scientist, but that is my layperson understanding of what melting point is. Melting point is the temperature in which this substance melts. And in order to melt, it would have to go from a solid to a liquid. Okay. And then the boiling point is when that liquid begins to boil, that temperature, right? So then it's boiling, it's probably going to start turning into the gas state. But don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist. But anyway, solid to liquid is when it melts. So if it's at 250 degrees Celsius, has it crossed over into a liquid? Has it melted? We just need to go and check the melting point and see if 250 degrees is above the melting point or not. If it's greater than the melting point, it has become a liquid. Okay. If it's less than the melting point, then it's still a solid. It has not melted yet. So we look back at sample A. The melting point is 126 degrees Celsius. 250 is over that, right? So this substance has melted and became a liquid. Okay, so we know it's liquid. That means we can eliminate everything that says solid, right? Don't even read it. We know it's a liquid. Then we just have to have the correct reason. So C says liquid because the melting point of sample A is 126. That's true, like that's directly on the chart. The melting point is 126 degrees Celsius for sample A. I can literally see it on the chart and I could really put my finger on it, literally, if I was taking the test. So the answer is C. It is a liquid because the melting point of sample A is 126 degrees Celsius. Okay. All right, we are down to the last problem, guys. And some of you may have just like come to the channel. It's your first time seeing one of these videos. These questions come from our group. Every day, Monday through Thursday, an ACT question is released for the day. Sometimes they're released on Monday for the entire week, and you are to practice them. And then on Friday, we get the explanation to them, the step-by-step, how to do it, how to solve it, the solutions. And so that's what we're doing. If you ever want to know where these questions were coming from, they are official released ACT test questions that are pushed into our free ACE the ACT exam group, which you can get access to by clicking the link below. All right, so consider the claim that two samples having the same density, so that's two samples, same density, will always be composed of the same substance. Okay, so this is the claim, this is the hypothesis. Two samples having the same density will always have the same substance, okay? Regardless of the values of the other four properties. So only dealing with density only. I didn't highlight that, sorry. Density only. The question is, which of the students, okay, which of those four students, you have those responses that they wrote on the other screen, which of the students, if any, would be likely to agree? Who's going to agree that density is the only thing that you need to have the same in order for the substances to be the same? Well, let's go look. We're looking for same substance if they have the same density, okay? So we can look at answer choices and then weed them out, or we can look at the actual responses and then come back to the answer choices. I am a fan of looking at the answer choices and then eliminating them, because why would I want to create something when I know the answer is there? Like it's there. So F says students 1 and 2 only. Let's check and see if students 1 and 2 say density is the only thing that matters for them to be the same. Let's check. So student 1 says all 5 values have to be the same. So that makes F wrong automatically. I don't even have to waste my time checking student 2 because the answer choice said student 1 and student 2 only. And student 1 doesn't even say that. So it's not going to be F. Okay. So let's go ahead and eliminate that answer choice. That's not it. Okay, G says 2, 3, and 4. Oh, actually, we can eliminate H because number 1 didn't say that. So it can't be all of them because 1 didn't say it. So we are back to G. Sorry about that. So G says 2, 3, and 4 only. Let's go back and look at 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so student 2 says, if 2 samples have the same values for any 3 or more of the 5 properties, 3 or more, density is just one thing. That's not 3 or more. That's just one thing. So really, I've eliminated G as well, but let's just look at student 3 anyway. Student 3 says, if 2 samples have the same mass, volume, and density, that's 3 things: mass, volume, and density. But the answer choice said, or the question is saying just density only. That's all it takes. So already we have 2 and 3 that are against that claim. They wouldn't agree with that. They said 3. Student 3 said mass, volume, and density. The claim is only density, so therefore they would not agree with that. So it's not G either. And you can check student 4 if you wanted to, but it's a waste of time to do so. That's not going to be it. So we've eliminated F, G, and H. And there's only one choice left, which is J, and that one is the only one that makes sense, that none of the students would agree with that claim. None of them. That nobody said just density only in order to say that those samples are made of the same substance. Okay. So guys, that is the review of the ACT questions from last week, May 9th through May 12th. Remember to do the ones from this week also, and I'll see you guys on Friday with our review of our ACT math questions. Have a wonderful day. Bye.